tired of Stardew Valley? Of course not. Stardew Valley is great, but are you looking for something new and don't want to gamble with a game you might not like? Perfect. Then this video is for you. Alrighty, let's get started with a game that is currently in development, Polya. Polya is a pretty simple game. It's basically if Stardew Valley was an MMO. Well, I guess it makes it not simple at all. Polya is a game where you will get your own farmhouse and farmland. You will then get to farm and decorate your own little piece of land however you want, but with a bunch of players all over the place. Around the world of Polya, you will find tons of other players and they will all have their very own farmhouse. But if you prefer to only play with your friends, you need not worry because you can set up neighborhoods and you do not need to worry about being forced to play every single day like in regular MMOs. You really can play this game at your own pace. There is no rush. This is meant to be a cozy, safe space that you can use to escape. But does the game have combat? Well, it seems that the game will have a hunting system where you can hunt wildlife, but there does not seem to be any player versus player combat in the game. Instead, the game will have fun competitions that you can have against other players, like race each other, traverse through an obstacle course, and even battle each other with a card game. Stardew Valley players are definitely going to resonate well with this game. You get to farm, mine, fish, decorate, and most importantly, find love. Polya also has a secret weapon under its sleeve. They have a large development team that consists of developers from a bunch of games that you already love. Polya is planned to have an alpha phase around the middle of 2022, and the link to their Discord is in the description below. I will be playing Polya as soon as it is released, and hopefully I will see you there too. Okay, the next one is just so much fun, and I am speaking from personal experience here. Graveyard Keeper. I played this game for the first time and I kind of got hooked. I don't know, there's something about the atmosphere and the way this game was put together. It's just really hard to stop playing. Graveyard Keeper is kind of like a cemetery management game, but the game has been so incredibly fleshed out. There is just tons of stuff to do. The absolute basics of the game is simple. You gather materials like wood, stone, and iron, and then you craft tools, decorations for your cemetery, and most importantly, gravestones. All of these things are actually important because your cemetery needs to be presentable because you will need to run a church as well, and you kind of need the praise of the masses. Why might you ask? So that they can send the bodies to you. Now you could just bury the bodies and keep the place neat, or you could just harvest some meat from the bodies. I mean, why not? Then you can either eat this meat for energy or sell it back to the townspeople. Yes, this game has some dark theme, but it's kind of cute, I'm not gonna lie. Just like in Stardew Valley, you won't get overwhelmed with everything this game has to offer right in the beginning of a playthrough, as you will slowly be unlocking new technology trees and learning new craftables as you play the game, allowing for a slow but steady introduction of features, and that is just perfect in my opinion. The game also doesn't overburden you with extensive long tutorials that we as gamers just don't need. You'll have to learn the game as you play it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But I want to hear it from you guys. Have you guys already played this game? And if I make videos on it, would you watch them? Please let me know in the comments below. What if Stardew Valley has more of a fantasy vibe? That would be pretty cool, right? Well, you don't need a dream anymore. Sunhaven, a brand new game that is currently in early access on Steam. Sunhaven is a game that has more packed into it than it should. There are 3 worlds to explore in this game. There are 7 races to play as, from a humble human to a demon, an angel, an elemental, and even an animal-human hybrid. But that is not all that Sunhaven has to offer. In Sunhaven, you will find yourself farming on your land, chopping down trees, mining for ores in the mines, and exploring the world where you will find tons of enemies to face. The game even has boss fights, and I am all for a good boss fight. What makes Sunhaven unique is that the game takes the simple farming simulator and adds tons of fantasy RPG elements to it. You can get magic, some spells will wreak havoc onto your foes, and some spells will help you water your crops on your farm. There is a skill tree with over 100 options, so you will be able to play the game exactly how you want to, making your character unique and interesting. This game has so much to offer. I just think it needs a little bit more attention. You might be worried about the fact that the game is in early access, but luckily for us, the developers are actively working on it, and there has been a constant supply of bug fixes and content patches. Now, I don't often gauge games by their graphics because gameplay is the most important thing for me, but just look at this game. The developers have done an excellent job of making a game that looks absolutely stunning. This is a game that I streamed on Twitch because of how fun and relaxing it is. I never expected to enjoy Slime Rancher as much as I did, and I cannot wait for Slime Rancher 2. If you have not played Slime Rancher yet, you should consider giving it a try. It's not that it's similar to Stardew Valley, but it is a pretty stress-free fun game that will keep you busy for quite a while. The game is simple. Imagine you're looking after slimes in your slime hutch, and now take that to a whole other level because this entire game is about looking after and tending to slimes, and they come in all shapes and sizes. You will be capturing slimes in the world and then placing them in a slime pen. When you feed them their preferred food, they will produce slime plorts. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but you can sell it for gold. The game keeps things interesting by having a fluctuating market where specific plorts will sell for less or more depending on how many of them you have sold. There are also time trial quests that will reward you with vegetables, plorts, and even chickens. Naturally, you make your own vegetable farms and mass-produce food to fatten up your slimes and make a killing, or you gather up tons of chickens and feed them to a real chonker slime and unlock new areas of the map. The game is just fun, relaxing, and has a good sense of progression. I like it. Okay, this game might seem out of place, but just hear me out. Moonlighter is not a farming simulator. It's a hybrid store simulator / roguelite game, and it's a lot of fun. I will warn you though, I am terrible at these types of games, so be prepared for some pretty bad gameplay. Anyway, you can venture into these dungeons with rooms. Each room will have a different set of enemies, and you'll have to defeat all of the enemies to get to the next room. The enemies are hard, or maybe they aren't hard and I'm just bad at the game. As you defeat enemies and unlock chests, you will get resources that you can sell in your store. But these same resources will be required to craft and upgrade your armor and weapons. So you'll have to carefully decide what should be sold and what should be kept for gear upgrades. I made the mistake of selling everything I had and was unable to upgrade my weapon. After you've made it through a couple floors, you will eventually find yourself a boss. Yes, a boss. I have only seen this one boss and he's pretty tough, but I made it through with a sliver of health. I managed to defeat him. I think I got lucky, but my adrenaline was rushing through this fight. If you are looking for something new, Moonlighter might be an excellent choice. Just use a controller. The keyboard support is not very good. From these 5 games, which are you going to give a try? And are there any awesome games that should have been on this list? Let me know in the comments below. Hit subscribe for fun, and as always, I will see you in the next video.